welcome to the Morning DNA. I'm Aaron Dice, the man of single black shirt. She is Danae Hughes, the woman of a million distractions. And we're here to find out what January 31st, 2022 is made of this morning.
When
What's
did it
up?
become 2022 again? Can we talk about that for a second?
No, because
Okay.
it's just been a time warp. This whole pandemic has just been a time warp. It's been insane.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us this morning, guys. We've entered into a state of some sort of malaise thanks to the pandemic. So thank you.
So today, my number one goal is to not touch my face with this hand. Right before going live, I decided to put Tiger Balm on my shoulder because my shoulder's hurting a little bit.
Oh, okay. All right.
Have any of you used Tiger Balm before? I highly recommend it. I used it all the time when I practice martial arts because it's really good on bruises. It just kind of like helps the bruise to just dissipate quickly. It's got the nice little topical tingle going on, for it just gets deep into your muscles and kind of helps just to heal them. But that stuff should not be in your eye. And now that I have clapped my hands together, this hand also should not touch my eye. Usually
Keep your hands away from your face, Danae. Keep your hands away from your face.
I apply it and then I usually go wash. But I did not do that because we're going live. We're live.
We're live. We're doing it live.
I'm really happy to be here with you guys. Doc Transy, thank you for the biddies. Alfalfa VR, Hunter, and Moogie Moogans, thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. And thanks everybody in the chat for being here, both on Twitch and elsewhere. We really appreciate you guys joining us every
How do you
Monday.
feel about doing a top of the show you question for somebody who's not going to be able to stick around till the end?
Hell yeah.
All right. Polly Lewis says, "Oh, dang, I'd love to join today, but I have to work. So quick, early you question. Muffins with or without nuts?" Danae, you first.
Yeah, muffins, yes.
Nuts does not enter into the equation.
No. For me, it's not nuts at all. Like, it's about how well it's made.
Right.
A well-made muffin is a well-made muffin. You eat the muffin, it's flavorful, you enjoy it. If it's got a little crunch in there, that's okay with me. It's okay with me. Like banana nut, it's like banana nut bread for me, but in muffin form. Especially if it's banana. If it's banana nut, then I'm all for a nutty muffin.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. If it's a banana nut muffin, then nut is right in the name. So let's go ahead and put nuts in there. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind some nutty crunch in my muffin. You know that my favorite muffin. This is not going to surprise anyone.
Oh wait, should we guess?
Sure. Feel free to guess.
Okay, because you said this is going to surprise no one, so it instantly makes me think that I should know the answer.
Okay.
So your favorite muffin is it's a plain experience because you are a super taster, and so flavor is dangerous for you.
Yes, it's risky. Can be risky.
You love peanut butter, but I don't know if anyone makes peanut butter muffins, so I'm not going to say peanut
I'm
butter
sure
muffin.
somebody has, but that's not a common enough thing that I've had those.
I mean, what's the plainest muffin that there is, chat?
Yeah.
I love pumpkin muffins too, inward hard flip. Like desperately.
Add aging to plain.
Okay, so chat, what that means is that his taste buds are changing. They're
No,
dying
that's not what that
slow.
means.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry. No. That was a false clue. I mean, it's not a false clue, but it was I can understand why you would think that's what that clue meant, but that's not what that meant.
Castro says muffin flavored muffin. This is the answer.
Yes. Yes, that is the answer. No, chat's got it. Chat's absolutely got it.
The bran muffin?
Yeah, it's a bran muffin. Bran muffins,
That's
man.
what Ollie said too.
Just a plain bran muffin is so good. There's something about that bran flavor that I really, really like. So yeah, if you make a good bran muffin. Yes.
I don't know that I've ever had a bran muffin before.
Just a plain bran. You've never had a bran muffin?
No, I think I've only had flavored muffins. Like
bran is a flavor. It's a flavor. It's a beautiful flavor.
Let me specify. Like a blueberry muffin, banana muffin, pumpkin muffin. I don't think I've ever had just a bran muffin before.
I do love pumpkin bread. There is really something beautiful about a moist pumpkin baked good. That is really, really good. Lai says, Aaron, what do you consider your most bold, spicy, out there food choice? Cream of mushroom soup?
Oh, my. Oh, wow.
Getting crazy in here.
Oh, my God. The salt. The salt content alone.
Here's an interesting. It's not. I like the taste of jalapenos, so that might be interesting. I don't eat a lot of jalapeno peppers per se, but like the jalapeno taste is, I think, a pleasant taste. I like that taste. So maybe that counts. I don't know. Danae, you know me. What's my craziest food? Like, what do I like that you'd be surprised that most people would be surprised at? Is there anything spicy I like? There's not, is there?
Well, so you've been eating HelloFresh meals. That's shocking to me.
Yeah.
That surprised me a lot. Guys, I itched right here, and right here is now burning a little bit. Dang it.
By the way, for those listening on the podcast, right here is the nose, between the nose and the top lip.
What's the slide from the middle of the nostrils down to the middle of your
There is a
top
name.
lip?
There's a name for that little indentation.
What's the little swoopy whoop? I
think that's technically the name, the swoopy whoop.
It's the lip swoop, the loopy. Nope, it's not gonna work. I was trying to think of lip swoop, lip.
It's the philtrum.
The philtrum or the fultrum?
Philtrum. You touched your philtrum.
Chat. Was it the chat that got that, or was that you Googling?
I just Googled it real quick.
Jiminy criminy. Put gloves on, Danae. I actually have incredibly dainty gloves in my office up here that were given to me from like my grandmother. They're super old, like lace gloves that have just the smallest little details on there. The problem is that the material on them is so fine that I'm sure it would just leak through. I don't have it's too much. I put too much on my hands. What do I do with my hands?
Yeah, just hold them there. Just hold them there.
This is the rest of my show. Unfortunately, is just me sitting in front of the microphone like this.
Mr. Halfbit says the snot slot is another name for the philtrum.
Oh, yes, that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's the flavor.
I think the flavor. Are we back to muffin flavors?
I read flavor on the chat. It just came out of my mouth.
All right, you ready to shoe a dough?
Yes, I'm ready to show it.
All right, we're going to do the D and A in U. So we'll have a D topic, an A topic, and as many U topics as we can get through. So the D topic is Danae's topic for the day. The A topic is my topic for the day. And then your U questions will happen at the end of the show. We answer as many as we can. So Danae, what is your D topic for today?
Mine is a question: is who is or was the collector, the person that collects things in your life? What did they collect? I come from a very collect-like family. My grandfather collected books. I'm going to talk about him today. My mother is a collector of things. I obviously collect things. Although I don't collect sets, I just collect memories more is a kind of like my collection of items.
Right.
But because my grandparents have this full basement. It's like the entirety of their house is also a basement, and it's an unfinished basement. So what they did is they just lined it with bookshelves for my grandfather's book collection. And then he's, bought and sold books from the basement for a very, very long time. And then he owned a bookstore. He started a library at a college. He's the book guy. And so I've been down in the basement my entire, life. I've been going up and down the stairs of this space. And I actually, for those of you who are watching visually, I have like this little tiny collection of books on my desk, just these tiny ones, and they keep falling over because I don't have any, these are called bookends, which you can't find just in a regular store anymore because people don't have books anymore, I guess. But my grandfather, I just remembered seeing a shelf that had bookends. And so when I went over to my grandmother's house over the weekend, I asked her, I was like, can I go downstairs and pick out like maybe one or two bookends that I know I've seen several times? And she's like, oh yeah, sure. So I found probably about 6 and I was
Nice.
going through them. They're pretty cool. They remind me of the video game that I'm playing called Wild RP. It's just like this old Western kind of horse with a saddle, which this would have meant nothing to me several years ago. But now I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so meaningful.
All right.
Anyway, I turn the corner and I glance down this dark aisle of shelving, and there is 40 more. Like, it was this entire section of collected bookends that he had been picking up through the years of various places that he'd stop and find one. So I then, because I'm this way, I then had to look at every single one of them and kind of think about, okay, I know I selected the horse one, but is there one that's more meaningful to me? Because as a collector family, things become meaningful to you. So it's just on top of all the things my grandfather collected or, worked towards. This was unexpected to just turn this corner and see just shelf after shelf after shelf of various bookends that I don't know that anyone's ever going to be interested in them. Maybe the family will, share them because we all love books. But does anyone even collect those anymore? Don't know. But it was really, really interesting. There was hand-carved wooden ones from Africa. There was a pair that had globes. So it was like a L-shaped, the part that would hold the books up, the L shape. And then in the air and space between them was a globe that would turn. That was so rad. I almost got those. I was like, globes? Who has globes anymore? It's globes and a bookend all at the same time. I had to just calm my brain down and just go, no, Nate. Pick the horsies. They made you happy. Go upstairs. Be part of your family instead of in the basement with all the spiders. So it got me thinking, though, about just things that people collect around us. And I think most of us probably have a collector in our world somewhere.
Well, it's kind of human nature. There's a part of human nature that is to hoard things, that is to, keep things so that you always have them and that you always remember them and that's yours. There's this part of it that's unhealthy, but there's also this part of it that's really healthy. There's this part of it that is about history and, stories and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think we all tend to do that. When I was growing up, I collected several things. I collected bouncy balls, just those little rubber balls that like super balls, that some people call them. I still have a ton of them. So anytime, we or somebody else would go somewhere, they'd, buy a strange bouncy ball and
I actually
bring it back.
have one of the bouncy balls that you made because you had a bouncy ball maker.
That's true. Somebody got me a thing that, could make.
It's just down there on that shelf.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It does not bounce anymore. I guarantee that thing made bouncy balls that bounced for like a week and then became like rocks.
Yeah. That machine was cool. It was like all these little microscopic pieces of rubber that you could like put different colors in, and then they would coalesce together and you made a little bouncy ball out of it. But those pieces of rubber would harden. So now it's a weapon 100%, but it's down there. Yeah.
That's awesome. Also cans, like soda cans, pop cans. We had a stairway that went down into our basement and there was a ledge, like an even ledge along the wall there by the stairway.
Yeah.
And stacked from that ledge to the ceiling all the way across were all different pop cans. So not like just well, because they're all different. So they're unique. And so there are collectible pop cans as well. So 7-Up at one point, I think in the 80s, did a 50 states run of their pop cans. And I had all 50 states,
Where are they now?
I have no idea. Thrown away probably. So that was just a collection I just didn't keep. And I had Wheaties boxes, a collection of Wheaties boxes with different athletes on them that I didn't keep.
This is so surprising to me. Maybe it's because it's youth into like, you became a parent and all this stuff and like, time changed and things like that. But like now you have so few things that you hold on to. You have just the most important items. I guess you collect your movie memorabilia.
Well, I have a friend who has helped me collect dice.
I gave those to you.
Considering my almost everything. There are some of my own dice in here, but yeah.
Here you go.
Mostly yours.
Yeah, I stole out of that collection. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. And then this is the only other thing I collect, which is physical media.
Boxes.
So the steel books. I think they're gorgeous. I just love the simplicity of like the beautiful art, front and back. There's no like all the stuff that usually comes on DVDs with all the
Yeah.
like, information or
In
whatever.
a world of sand and sandworms comes a way to survive in the sand and sandworm place by
So
recycling your pee.
they're
That's
just
the synopsis for Dune. Just in
absolutely
case
gorgeous.
Podcast listener, that doesn't make any sense. He held up a steel box, what are they
A
called?
steelbook.
Steel book of Dune. Which
I
is
did
why
just
said that.
open this one, and the 4K disc isn't in there. So
You're welcome.
I don't know who stole that, but I'm very confused now. I'm very confused.
That means, folks, the show is over because Aaron's
Yep, I
brain
gotta go
is now
find,
consumed by where the 4K is, and until it's found, he won't be able to rest. So while you do that, let's jump over to some chat responses. JCD says, my aunt collected cats. I think by the time she passed, she had 20. Oh my gosh. I love cats. I can't imagine having that many because you're really, really outnumbered, but also I'm very allergic. Viodoke says, I used to collect comics until I went to college and didn't have any money. And now I guess my wife and I collect plants in the garden specifically. That's a good, but plants in the house are okay too. Comics, man. Jumping off of that,
Yeah.
Castro says, I collect books I don't read, notebooks I don't write in, and ideas I don't turn into stories. I feel that in my soul. Just over there, I have a whole bunch of really cool notebooks that are for the future of writing that I never get to. I super, super get that.
Yeah.
Also, webcomics, that those I do read. I love webcomics. Have we talked about this before, Castriv? I love webcomics. One of my very, very favorite webcomics is Gunnar Craig Court. So good, has been going on for so long. I've been keeping up with it for over 10 years. It's amazing. I don't know. I could go on about webcomics way too long, though.
Well, how do you collect webcomics, though?
Oh, to me, this is more of like a mental collection. I have a series of webcomics I can't not keep up with every week. So it's like more, I guess, consumable media, I guess, is probably a collection in my brain.
I was just thinking digital collection becomes very interesting. Like, then we start to get into the NFT space, right? Like,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
Jagged says, it's me. I am the collector. I will tweet a pic of my stairwell in the basement, which is just a small part of my collection. Okay.
Okay.
I will
All
go to
right.
Twitter
Fair
and
enough.
find that. What were you saying, Aaron? I'm sorry.
No. It's interesting because we are entering in a world where digital collection is becoming a thing. Like it's, and trying to figure out what that means and what it means to own something digitally and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. How do I do the thing where I do the thing where I share the stuff and I do the thing? Share my screen, share a window, share a tab. Here we go. Chat. Okay, so we have this one into
Star
this
Wars.
one.
There's lots of Star Wars
Wow.
memorabilia. Very nice.
The memorabilia.
It's a little
Very
staircase
cool.
ledge. It's a great place for collections. Staircase ledge, FTW.
This one, I don't know this word. My mom collects
Fostoria dishware.
Fostoria dishware. What is a Fostoria dishware? Is this like
It's probably just a certain brand, right?
Yeah. You could look that up. Inward hard flip. I collect VHS tapes. What a bulky, chunky collection that must be. I wonder
Yeah, it's
those-
just like
those
a
were-
fine it's like a fine crystal glassware kind of stuff.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Real Mikey Alexander, the collector. It's me. Oh, so many collectors in the chat today. Superhero stuff is everywhere in my place. Kryptonite, Batarang, Ant-Man's helmet, Green Lantern, the Flash's ring. Oh, so like you collect their stuff. That's fun. So you could totally dress up as a superhero at any point in time. Or if someone comes over and you don't like them, you can get the kryptonite and go put it by them and see how they react.
Real Mikey was saying earlier that he did not move to Florida for cold weather. Apparently it's cold there today. I will just say, Real Mikey, here up north quite a ways, it's going to be in the mid 60s today. So I have no idea what's going
But then
on.
by like Wednesday, it's going to be sleeting, icing, and snowing.
Yeah, no, I mean,
So
yes.
maybe your cold weather is coming up to us. I don't know if weather patterns work that way. but
That's
in my
exactly
mind,
how it works today. It gets cold in Florida and then just shifts up,
That's what's happening.
northwest. Yes, the weather usually travels
Yeah.
northwest.
Well, and it circles around too because it's going to
right.
come.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, depending on who requests it, it has to take
right.
into account, who wants which weather and that kind of thing. Yep.
8 says, I have almost 400 movies and 70 to 80 steelbooks. That's awesome.
That is very cool. I that reminds me, if I'm going to truly collect something, I have to have a spreadsheet of said collection, and I do for all of my steelbooks and everything.
Yeah.
So,
You just want to see puppies.
Aw. Oh, they have separate sleeping arrangements right now.
Yes. And look, I'm on the fisheye side. I don't know if I like this camera, by the way, guys. I'm thinking about getting another one. But here's the puppies. They're having an argument these days. So.
Are they fighting? What are they fighting about?
Well, they went to the vet for a dental cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
They went to the vet for a dental cleaning, and when they came out of the dental cleaning, they have had more arguments between them. I don't know if it's because they were in pain or groggy, but over the last few days, they've just been at odds with each other. It's the first time I've seen them argue this much, but if they start to like pile up on top of each other, they get like growly and they want their space. So I got both of the beds in here today for them. And they seem to be very happy, but it's weird to see it happen.
That's got to be interesting. I've never known them not to be just all over each other.
I know.
Yeah.
They're like one dog with two heads. They're like, what's the name of
Cerebrum? No, that's that's an X-Men thing. I don't know.
I don't remember, guys.
Yeah. I did just look at my steelbook collection. I now have 230 4K steelbooks and some Blu-ray steelbooks as well. So I love the steelbooks. Love them.
Oh, we have more in the thread apparently. Let me see if I can. Maybe not. Maybe I'm missing it. Okay, I'll look again. I just posted some of my superhero trophy room collection to the DNA episode thread. If you meet on Twitter, I don't see it yet. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I put it in the wrong spot.
Well, while you're looking, Jagged says, Aaron, can you share that spreadsheet or the template? I'd love to make one of my own.
No, because then you're going to know what to steal.
Apparently somebody's stealing my 4Ks. So, yeah. Cerberus.
Cerberus. Oh, I found it. Yeah. Okay. Share stuff over here. Podcast listeners, we are looking at more cool collectible stuff. Whoa, look at those rings. Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's some Green Lantern stuff right there.
Ooh.
Yeah. Some Wonder Woman, some Ant-Man.
That Ant-Man helmet is pretty rad.
Legit. That's legit. It's lit up.
That's incredible. Those are fun. Cool.
Nice.
Wow.
Very, very
We
cool.
do have collectors in here, yo.
Yeah, we do. Let's see. Should I share what my collecting thing looks like?
What do you mean your collecting thing?
No, my spreadsheet. Should I show what my spreadsheet looks like? No, that's a no. See, I don't know these things sometimes.
Sure.
Would that be good for people, or would people be like, "This is now the most boring podcast ever"? We're literally looking at a spreadsheet.
Listen. If you want to know what it's like to be friends with Aaron, you look at spreadsheets from time to time. It's totally normal. Yeah, you can show it off if you want to. I'm just being a butt.
All right. Let's see.
I'll throw up some more comments while you're doing that. Slab says I collect a few things: vinyl pop figures, shot glasses, and physical media. Okay, here we are, Chad.
So this is the 4K Steelbook. Basically, I just have the title of the thing, the actual release date, because I actually sort my stuff by release date, what kind of discs I have of it. So if I have multiple discs of the same movie, those are in there. And then if I have it on digital, if that digital is 4K, what resolution, and then if it's been sorted into my wall, I mark it off. So yeah. So that's basically how I do it on every, each kind of individual. So these are the Blu-ray Steelbooks, Blu-rays, that kind of stuff. So yeah, so there you go. How was that today? Feel okay?
That was great, Aaron. That was great.
All right. I hope you weren't too bored.
No. Listen,
Okay.
I have buttons to click. I was looking at all kinds of stuff over here.
Nice.
Yeah. You ready to go on to your
Sure.
question for today, Mr.
Absolutely.
Dicer?
Yours was a big one. Mine maybe not
real
so
quick,
much.
Professor Lycan, playing cards, 400 decks of playing cards.
Wow.
Holy moly.
So just like regular playing cards are like CCGs, like collectible card games. Because I had a whole bunch of like from the X-Files CCG.
Wow.
But if you're just talking like regular decks of 52 playing cards plus the Jokers or whatever, that's really cool.
They buy 2 of each so that they don't have to open one. And then the most expensive deck is $350.
Wow,
that's crazy.
And you bought a $350 decks of playing
Or
cards,
maybe
and you
it's
actually
worth it
opened
now.
one.
Maybe it's like worth it now. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like it's
Right.
a rare one or something.
It's appreciated in value.
Yeah.
My topic for today: what's the last thing you found that felt like it was designed for you, specifically for use? It could be anything. Could be an activity, a food, whatever. This comes from what was originally going to be my answer to one of my topics that I forgot, if you remember, a couple weeks ago when I was like, what's something you're going to try new in 2022? And I was like, I know there was something I was thinking of, but now I can't remember. This is the answer to that question as well, something that feels like it was specifically designed for me. We are on the Rover app. We've got people bringing their dogs by to dog sit, and it is so perfect for us because we don't want our own dogs. We don't want the hassle of having to find somewhere for them, that kind of thing. But we love loving on puppies. And we had our first couple puppies over this past weekend, and it was so great. We loved it so much, and we got paid for it. It was wild. So like, it's this perfect thing for us.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing, but it makes sense because people have dogs. They need someone to watch them. Why not find someone that could watch your puppy?
And then
who's
you're not
kind
worried
and
about
caring.
taking them to a kennel, and are they going to get good care there, and how much it costs, and it's pretty reasonable rates. And
It's just drop off your dog for a few days, pick him back up, hand him some cash. That's what we do with you for years anyway. You've been doing that for us since you've been friends with us.
That's true. It's true.
And with us, it's the same thing, right? It's like, we're leaving in 4 days. We have no one to watch our dogs. By the way, we have a Saint Bernard. How can you come help me with my life situation?
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it was really fun because last week you're like, hey, check out my guests, and you pick up these 2 adorable puppies. You're like, this one's Precious and this one's Pumpernickel.
I think technically Yachty and Abby, but yes, you were close.
Are you gonna keep a running tab? Are you gonna keep a spreadsheet on all of the names of all the dogs and like?
I don't have to. I love them so much. Like I will just remember them always. We will always be friends. We got an incredible review because it was our first, and they reviewed us on the app or whatever, gave us 5 stars, and said that they the dogs had a great time and that they would bring them back anytime. And I'm just like, oh, it feels so good. It's so nice.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. JC says it's a new series, but The Legend of Vox Machina on Amazon Prime feels very much like my kind of series so far. I am excited to watch that, obviously. Oh, and going back to the other one, Professor Lycan says, I was able to grab one of the $350 deck because they only made 500 of them. It's etched stainless steel deck, full 52 plus the Jokers. It was $350 when I bought it, and I have no idea what it's worth now.
Wow.
Ooh, wow, it's stainless steel.
We
Like
should
each
find
card
out.
is stainless
Can
steel.
we find out?
Isn't that dangerous? It's like
It'd be very hard to do a shuffle.
It's like Gambit from X-Men. If he empowered those
That's
stainless
right.
steel,
Oh, that is
would
a
be
Gambit
so-
deck right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would decapitate people with that.
Back to your question though, Aaron, your chat. Jagged asks, do they have a Rover app for children? I'm asking for a friend. Oh, that's funny.
That would be much more complicated, I think.
I think it's called babysitting.
It is called. I bet there are babysitting apps. There have to
Sure.
be
Oh,
babysitting
100%.
apps.
Yeah. And then there's all these profiles of who the people are and background
We
checks.
we both had to get background checks. Both my wife and I had to get background checks for the
makes
Rover
sense.
app. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would be scared to drop off my child or my animals of people I didn't know. I mean, I know you, and I think you're a great candidate for something like this because you guys are really awesome with puppies, and so what a cool thing. Lolly says in the UK, Paul McCartney started a charity that matches people who don't have a dog of their own but want to walk one. Then they match to people who are in hospital or ill and need temporary help managing their pets. What a great idea. That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Real Monkey Alexander, back on the Twitter feed, guys. I just posted a pic of some iguana that wandered up to my door. Maybe he heard about the collection. Like just now wandered up to your door?
Welcome to Florida. Welcome to Florida.
Is this something that happens?
Yeah. I was just looking this week about how to establish temporary residency in Florida so I could get tickets to Disney.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing.
I was like, nope, there's no way around it.
That's a really big lizard.
Yeah, that's an iguana.
That just came up to your house? Like,
Yeah.
Hey, have you heard about our Lord and Savior?
No, he's just like, iguana say hi. So I'm here. That's what he did.
Wow.
That is exactly what he did.
Wow. For clarification, Professor, I would never shuffle it. I've only ever taken one card out of the sleeve. I debated long and hard about throwing one.
Yeah. Well, regular playing cards are so fun to throw, right? Like you got that kind of just like thing that you can do with them, and they do some damage. So man, steel ones would be.
A steel one is dangerous. That's like in case of emergency, someone breaks into your house and you need to have a weapon, and you decide not to opt for the candelabra.
Yeah,
let's go for that.
Yeah. Let's see.
He's a juvenile? How do you know these things? Well, you know these things because you're a zoologist.
Apparently. Inward Heart Flip says there's a DIY skate park right beside where my dad works, which is perfect for them. Yeah, considering I believe your username is a skating term, that would make a lot of sense.
I thought the inward hard flip was like when you flip someone off and you like really go underneath and out, like the inward hard flip. That's what I thought.
I think it is that as well. It has been adapted.
The only inward hard flip that I can do. Let's just be clear about that. This was an interesting question for you to be pondering because this happened in my life when I met Aaron. Actually, it was about radio. When I discovered radio, I really felt like it was something that was designed for me because I don't get afraid at the microphone. I just talk, and I'm kind of, I don't know, designed for entertainment. I've always loved making people laugh, and I've always loved talking with people and things like this. And I think also just the cadence of my voice and how I speak works well for radio. But I didn't know any of those things. I didn't go to radio broadcasting classes or anything like that. It was just part of who I was. And so people told me that I would be good on radio for a really, 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 really long time. And I finally reached out to the radio station, and then it turned into me having a career and meeting Aaron. But for a while there, every single day that I walked into that job, it felt like I was designed for it, or it was designed for me, one of the two, because it wasn't just jumping into a show and having conversation. I mean, it was hard work. It took a lot of the mental gymnastics of radio is something that I wasn't prepared for. But I still did it, and I was still able to kind of do the gymnastics of, okay, we're live in 30 seconds, push this button, do this thing over here, like you're thinking about 6 things at the same time, and then succincting all of your thoughts down into 90 seconds in between music. It was a really fun experiment that changed how I talk, how I think about entertainment. But then at the end of the day, there's also so many other things to do. There's promotions and there's events to do. There's people to meet. So the part of me that always likes to try new things and do more than one thing, this job also had all of that as well. So it wasn't like I was just stuck in one kind of every single day doing the same thing. It's like every day was a different show. There was consistency to it where I learned the importance of consistency and things like that. So I've learned a lot from radio, but I also feel like it was something that I was like, holy, I was made for this. This is something that makes sense to me. And I hadn't really felt that before in a job. They'd all just been like, oh, this is interesting. I'll try this sort of experiments. But that was one where I felt like it was a really good fit. So
It is a wonderful feeling when you have that about your vocation. When you can look at your
Yeah.
vocation and go, oh, somebody's going to pay me to do something that I feel like I was made to do. Like that's just,
yeah.
because there's so much less friction. Even though the work is hard, it doesn't feel as hard because it's frictionless. It feels like, oh, I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. I was made to do it. That kind of thing. So yeah, you definitely had that. You are a very natural communicator. There's this weird balance between mic fright, like where people are afraid of being in front of, like they clam up when they get in front of a microphone or a camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the other end of that, there's this over performance thing that happens.
What are you talking about? They turn into like a real world
right, where
Muppets.
a microphone can turn somebody into something they're really not. And you had the perfect balance of just natural communicator. Microphone gets in front of you, you totally understand you're still talking to somebody, you're still talking to a friend. It's instead of I'm talking to a microphone and I don't know who's listening and what am I supposed to say? So yeah, it was really incredible to see that. And you still use that in your job. You know what I mean? Like even though we're not technically doing quote unquote radio, we are still doing things like this. We're still doing other podcasts, other video shows, the stuff you do on Twitch. It's all stuff that you were made to do. So yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Yeah. I'm going to answer the question from, or the comment from, let's see, I just saw it pop in from Professor Lycan being told about radio. I've got some ideas that I can share if you're interested, but we'll get to the you question part of things.
Sure. Castro said, fidget toys are made for me. I agree. Danae will tell you.
Kind of square one or the cubes.
Well, this
that
is
have
the one. This
sides?
is
okay.
This is the one that I have with me at all times when I'm working. Oftentimes, you'll see me just kind of holding it over here or off camera, and there's just different stuff on each side for my thumb to do or my fingers to press on. Danae will tell me she would have to give me like a paper towel or something to put in my hands that was quiet during the show.
Otherwise, it would be this the whole time.
Because I just find something around me that I have to play with.
Thing. It wasn't always really loud, but yeah, it would be.
I think the loudest thing on this is the
clicker.
switch. Mm-hmm. But it's not that. It's not that.
Yeah,
loud.
fidget toys are really good for you. Yes, there's always in our studio there was always a cloth, and when we were giving studio tours, I remember people being like, "So, tell me about this." And I would say, now this cloth is really important. You might think it's so that we can wipe up messes, but actually, this is Aaron's show whoopee. he needs it for peace of mind.
Yep, I'm a fidgeter. I definitely am.
Uayaduake says Wordle is made for me because 5-letter words is about as much as I can handle. Wordle is taking the world by storm, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. I have such mixed feelings on Wordle. It is such a fun game. I love it very much. I don't understand just the showing of the boxes because it's this really almost, especially when you do it publicly, it feels a little bit passive aggressive. There's a passive aggressiveness to it that's like, I'm not going to explain to you what this is. Just know this is a thing I'm doing and you're not, and I'm probably good at it.
That's right. Trust. Trust.
And I know people don't mean it that way. People don't mean it that way, but it's just it's kind of this really interesting thing. I think it's the visual of the boxes that people really like and like sharing. So, but yes, I have shared some of my Wordles with friends, like in friends chats and stuff. But
yes, we have a nice little friend chat going.
But I do not share them publicly. So yeah. Although my very first Wordle I got into, and so I was very proud of that. And then it's all downhill from there.
Yes, the very first Wordle was one that I introduced Aaron to, and he goes, "Oh, great, another efficiency game for me to get completely distracted by."
Because you have to start with stale or least or something that has those 5 letters. That has to be your starting word, or you're playing wrong.
So Jagged, this is a game. You can go to Twitter. There's lots of Wordle things, and essentially you just put 5 letters in a word, a word with 5 letters in it, And then it tells you how many letters you have correct and in the right place or things like this. And then you just try to figure out in 6 moves or less, I think,
Yeah, you've got
what
6
the
moves.
actual word is. Yeah.
Yep.
Lolly says, excuse my cynicism, but some people definitely mean it that way and are being passive aggressive.
It can feel that way even if they don't mean it. Like I don't know. It's just one of those weird things. Like, why are you sharing something so cryptic so publicly? That just,
Chris
it's
says,
strange
most
that way.
Wordle results I see are, look how fast I got lucky today, instead of someone actually puzzling it together. Yes, it is. It's like Mastermind with words. That's exactly what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good call. Good call.
Real Mikey Alexander says, fitting into my career feels like this too. Once I learned animal care was an option, I never looked back. Yeah, there's just some things you're like, oh, I'm made for this. This is actually one of the reasons I did not go to college whenever it was like college years, the standard college years, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And you're kind of picking a lane and you're saying, this is the direction I'm going. And I'm more of an experiential person. And every time I've had a job or something, there's something that I found in it that I really enjoy. But that one hit a lot of levels in a way that I hadn't experienced before. So it was really cool. Well, are you ready to go on to some you questions? Oh,
Sure, we can do that. Real Monkey says chocolate digestive biscuits are made for me, and then 3 cry laughy face emojis. That's a very English thing, digestive biscuits, but we just say cookies probably here. Chocolate
Lolly,
cookies.
you're not wrong. At least it's not BeatStar. I deleted BeatStar from my phone yesterday.
Did you?
I did.
Congratulations. I think that's a
Yeah.
good choice for you.
I'm just like, this game makes me so stressed out. I am so unhappy.
It is another answer to this question for me, though. I mean, I started playing that game and I was like, oh, this is like somehow my brain was made to process this and my thumbs were made to do this. Like I got my 41st diamond yesterday. So
Moving
41.
on to the you questions, everyone. This is the part of the show where you ask us questions. Anything can go.
Yeah.
We'll go back to the chat. I think there's some that were in the chat, Aaron, but we can go back into the chat and grab a couple. But any question goes. We'll answer any question that you have if we can. There's some questions that we've skipped at times, but we kind of don't shy away from much. We really enjoy conversation with you guys.
Ask anything. If we don't want to answer it, we won't. But yeah, ask us anything. JCD says, have you ever watched something where you can see the brilliance in what is being done, but just don't like the finished
Sorry.
product? Disappeared
You're
for me
welcome.
there. Danae,
You're
if you would
welcome. Sorry about that.
watched a movie yesterday that has great acting and is beautifully shot, but I just can't buy into what I'm being shown. Of course, I mean, movies is my answers would all be about movies for this. I mean, maybe not all. Maybe I could think of some other stuff too, but there are certainly plenty of movies I look at and go, "Oh yeah, that's very well done. Doesn't connect to me at all. Not interested." That happens often, actually. So, and I think it does for lots of people.
Yeah, mine's Facebook, right? Like, I see what you're doing. It's brilliant. I love the idea of linking people together, but I don't like the finished product. Like there's some websites or some media, like some companies that are built, that's like, man, what you're doing here is really, really great and really, really amazing, but I don't like the finished product. And I can say that about some of my jobs too, where, man, the amount of moving pieces to have a final product is incredible. But I can't get behind the final product. Like I want it to be something a little bit different or a lot different. And I could say that about some of the jobs I've had as well. So yeah, that's my question. I'm going to go back up to the comment that made me think of, but they have to find it. They have to find
All right,
it.
I have another one that we can do while you're finding it. Professor Lycan says, you question, what's your perfect breakfast?
Ooh, eggs and toast, man.
For me,
I'm such a dork, but eggs and toast.
I have a very specific answer to this that is also a general answer. I'll go with the general part of it first. A great breakfast burrito is the correct answer for me. That has all the pieces of breakfast I love with some cheese and a nice tortilla. The specific answer is Chick-fil-A's breakfast burrito. It is the best.
Okay, buddy.
Breakfast burrito I've ever had. And I wouldn't have thought that a breaded chicken in a breakfast burrito would be good, and yet it's incredible. So yeah, I think breakfast burrito is probably my answer to this. Although I will say, I haven't eaten breakfast in probably 6 months. So, except just on occasion, but like on a consistent basis. I haven't had a bowl of cereal in over a month. Like a bowl of cereal was like a daily thing for me. So yeah, it's been really interesting.
What
kind of
happened
being
to your
on
brand, man?
Well, I'm doing Kachava now, which I love and has so many of the things my body needs that it's all
Man,
good. Get all my fiber in there.
Yeah, I'm a like a if I can make a really good fried egg with some delicious toast. My favorite
Yep.
bread is the sprouted grains toast, where it's kind of like really like thick toast with a lot of butter.
Yeah.
I'm a simple person. So earlier, Professor Lycan, you said that you were also told that you'd be good in radio and you have no idea where to even start. This isn't a question, but
Sure.
I don't know that this would work for everybody, but I started with someone else's connection. So one of my massage clients was the last person who said you should be on radio before I called the radio station. Like I said, I had heard that a lot. So she said, I know of someone who works there. So if someone ever says you'd be good on radio and they know like a local station, then you can use that as an in. So when I called the station and said, this is the strangest chat ever, but I've been told I'd be good in radio, so here I'm calling you so that I can just say it, and there you go. I was told to talk to someone named Chalmere. That kind of opened the door. Really, anytime that you can have someone's name that you've been recommended to talk to. But it's not necessarily like being in radio isn't just about doing a show or having a voice. It really is about doing a lot of things all at the same time. So, you're taking a phone call. Hopefully you're editing that phone call. You're turning it around into, content that's interesting for other people to listen to, producing things, and also many, many other things that a radio station needs to run, because there's not a lot of people that work inside of radio stations. So it's like one of those jobs where you're going to be doing a lot of things more than just talking on the radio. So
It's the best of jobs. It's the worst of jobs. It is. I would caution against it, actually, at this point in 2022. There are so many other avenues that you could use those gifts in a passion way that could lead to something if you're truly connective. Finding an audience is always going to be difficult, but if you are passionate and communicate well and are have good chemistry with someone else, or have good charisma yourself, you can find an audience online now. I was going to say pretty easily, but not pretty easily. But if you're checking all those boxes, the audience will show up. You don't need a radio station to find an audience anymore.
No,
you just don't. So
no, I think it's just if you're passionate about talking, like Professor Lycan adds, I do Twitch streaming and people appear to really enjoy my chatting streams. I was told I've got a great voice for it. I've even done a bedtime story stream that women seem to especially appreciate. Oh my!
Well, Professor Lycan.
Oh, Professor Lycan. Good night, Moon.
No, Danae. No, not that book. No. I think you're right. I think the Twitch is a great avenue to go. Any of the broadcast places that you can find an audience. It's a weird world. There's becoming more creators, more people who want to find an audience, and less consumers who just want to, watch stuff they like. So it's a really interesting world with podcasts and video streaming and so many people. And I think you're seeing a lot with a lot of content creators that they get down the road, even when they find an audience, and go, what did I want out of this? You know what I mean? Like, what was I trying to, find with an audience? And if you don't have the answer to that question before you start, that can get really confusing, and is why you see a lot of people just dropping off the planet, because they're just like, I don't know why I'm doing this anymore. It's just causing anxiety. I feel like I always have to put out new content. Like, It's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing to understand your purpose in creating content and finding an audience. So answer that question early on. What is your goal? What is your purpose to find an audience? So yeah.
Real wants to know if you can pet the dogs. I mean, you
In your
can
mind?
pretend.
Yeah. Sure.
They have very soft fur. The softer fur dog is
Soft with the fur.
With the fur is Twix, the first dog that I had in my lab. And then the second dog is also very, very soft. They're regularly groomed, and so they smell delicious. Yeah. Envision the first one melts into you. The second one's like a tank. So the first one's like floppy, and the second dog is like this little tank machine that just sits there. So
Yeah.
as you envision the puppies, that's what you're going to want to add to that.
You question, Groundhog Day is on Wednesday. What is your favorite time loop movie or TV episode? You would think that would be a limited choice, but man, there are so many of them anymore. Palm Springs is one of my favorite recent ones. Highly recommend Palm Springs. Lots and lots of fun. That's the Andy Samberg one. But I don't think anything beats the original. I think Groundhog Day is, the go-to for a reason. So, do you have an answer to this today? Did you see like Happy Death Day? Maybe
No.
Yeah, that might be a fun one.
No. The first thing that I think of is Loki, which is odd. But there's a scene in Loki where they time loop him over and over again, so that he just kind of like enters his own little prison and gets punched over and over again. Actually, I think he gets a knee in the groin, which is just terrible to do to somebody. But I
Can confirm.
I really enjoyed the time loop stuff, as questionable as I find it all, like logically and how that works and all that stuff. The power behind it all. There's some interesting stuff, I think, in the Marvel universe that I've been like, oh, that's interesting. I like that. Loki is the most recent one that I can remember, but I really forget a lot of the content that I watch. One of my most favorite time travel conversations. No, wait, there was one recently where we were dealing a lot with time travel. We send it. It was Meet the Robinsons, I think. That was not a favorite.
It wasn't as much a time loop as just a time travel kind of thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Time loop. That's the one. It's a time loop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of very many.
Yeah, because once you get in time travel, it expands the category
That does.
in a good way. I mean, no, it doesn't expand it. I mean, it becomes a bigger conversation.
Too
but
much.
it's been crazy how many of these time loop stories. There was also a great TV show that I'm forgetting the name of right now, where I thought they were going to make more seasons, but she just kept waking up on the same day, and it was really interesting because they started to incorporate the idea that other people may be experiencing similar things concurrently, which gets really confusing. Edge of Tomorrow has been mentioned in the chat, which is another really interesting one that I think is an incredible film right up until the ending. I think it blows the ending a little bit. Russian Doll. Thank you, Chris. Russian Doll was the name of that show that I was talking about. Yeah. So there's been a lot.
Yeah, you guys had a lot of answers to that.
Oh, Quantum
Man,
Leap. Yeah.
that's an interesting one.
I think Quantum Leap's coming back.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Real Mikey Alexander, is the puppy's father the dog from Fraggle Rock? You're talking about Sprocket. And fun fact,
Yes.
I have it's down there. I have a metal lunchbox with Fraggle Rock on it down here. And guys, the puppies are cuddling with each other.
Oh, they're back together.
They're back together.
Aw, they
Oh my
put their
God.
differences aside.
Oh, it just took the morning DNA to do it.
Bringing puppies together for 10 years.
I was video chatting with.
This is our 10th year, by the way,
Oh, that's insane.
of Shoe the Dough.
Oh
This is
my
our 10th year of
gosh.
Shoe the Dough.
Oh, we're so old. I was video chatting with a friend, and we're talking about Fraggle Rock, and so I was showing off the lunch pail, and he's like, "Yeah, because your dog is Sprocket." And I have been calling Reese's. His actual name is Reese's. I've been saying he's like a Muppet to me for forever, since he started to go wizard gray like he is, because he wasn't always this color. He was once a dark chocolate colored, like blackish dog with like a tan stripe across his chest, like a Reese's Pieces peanut butter cup, which is why I called him Reese's. But now he is clearly a wizard. He's just this old man wizard dog.
Yeah.
So yes, he does look exactly like Sprocket. And isn't it wonderful? I kind of want to rename him into like Rocket the Raccoon or Sprocket, but
Reese's the Gray.
Reese's the Gray. Yeah, he's Reese's the Gray. 100%.
Yeah. Let's see. Lolly says, you question, what's your fantasy casting for a new Quantum Leap show? Oh man.
My gosh. Wow.
Let's see. Somebody's got to have it's got to be like for the main two, which I forget the characters' names. But for the Dean Stockwell character and the other, I think you have to have people with a good sense of humor. Because there's something befuddling about that whole experience that I loved. Like he was always like, "What do I do now?" Like you know,
it was kind of comedic, wasn't he? What's the guy from The Office that likes Pam? What's that guy? What's his
Jim?
name?
You talking about the guy that plays Jim Halpert?
Yeah, that guy. He'd be fun for a lead, don't you think?
Yeah.
He can do comedy and he can do kind of like.
No, that's good. That's good. I like that.
Jim.
I thought maybe you were talking about. I mean, there's so many people in The Office that can. Oh, Zachary Levi. Zachary Levi's the choice. That's right. Good call, Real Monkey. Zachary Levi would be perfect for that character that Scott Bakula played. Yeah. Dr.
Edge of
Samuel
Tomorrow.
Beckett.
That was a good answer to that question. That was a really good one. Sorry, Lucas, I missed that. John.
Yeah. Even though I said it and talked about it for a few
I
minutes.
wasn't listening to you.
It's just my favorite thing. Like, I was in the
10
chat
years.
somewhere. I was in the chat somewhere when you were talking about that thing for 3 minutes. Yeah. No, that's perfect. I think Zachary Levi is perfect for Beckett, for Sam Beckett. And then for the I was gonna say somebody like Harrison Ford, but maybe somebody a little bit younger than that for the And I don't know. I don't know who would be the other. But anyhow, maybe somebody like what about somebody like Sigourney Weaver for the other part?
Ooh.
For the one that's sending him, through.
Well, it has
time
to
and
be
stuff.
somebody who can smoke a stogie and look great. So
I
yes,
think Sigourney could definitely do that.
She could.
Yeah.
She could. Yeah, really, really do a good job at that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I kind of like that.
I was just trying to figure out if there was a female that could kind of go into that role. And I think Sigourney is the answer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. So there you go. There's our fantasy casting for the new Quantum Leap. All right. Well, thank you guys. It's always a pleasure to hang out with you on Mondays or some days, maybe. Yes, as you heard, Shoe the Dough will be celebrating its 10th anniversary this summer. The very first podcast came out, I believe, in it may have been even May. It was either May or June of 2012 was the very first Shoe the Dough podcast that we put out. So we're coming up on that 10-year anniversary. If you would like to get us something, maybe you can become a member of Studio DNA. And
okay, good. Yeah, if you want to get us something, here's our PO box.
No. I mean, you can always send us stuff if you want. I just thought, if we could shoot for those 41 Studio DNA members by our 10th anniversary date, we could do a 10th anniversary Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm genuinely nervous about that at this point. I feel like there was like a D&D moment and then it was like kind of like past and then you were not into it and then now you're kind of
into it now. I'm so ready to do D&D.
Which makes me even more nervous for some reason.
I know. No, it's because it was a lot easier to lower expectations when it was like, this isn't something he's going to like. And now that I'm like, you know what? I may love this.
You know what? I kind of want to be a character that does this. I've been talking to Ian about this. And, since somebody else mentioned that they liked it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's not true. I understand what your brain just did there, but that is completely false. So just so you know.
Sure. I'm looking for something for us to raid into on Twitch. Thanks again to all of my Twitch followers for making Twitch, so much fun. I'm going to be here tomorrow to do some role play like I do on every Tuesday. So I think I usually start around 6 p.m. Central. So if you're not already getting notifications when I go live, you can shift over the little notification icon and you'll get a notification when I go live as either Sadie, Jean, or Babs. And for those of you who are listening to the podcast for the last 10 years, huge thanks to you.
Yeah.
We would love to invite you to check us out on visual format over on Twitch. You can follow Aaron or myself, and we will see you next week. Twitch is really interesting. We usually rate into somebody, and there's lots of people that I can rate into. I think we're going to go... I want to go say hi to Brush for Hire today because I have been supporting him for a year. And so I want to, I want to rate into him. So today we're going to rate into Brush for Hire. You guys can watch him. He's doing miniature painting, and it'll be kind of fun to just say hi to him and celebrate my year of support. So
Very nice. Well, there you go. Love you guys. We'll catch you on the next Monday or someday.
yeah, guys, we'll catch you on the next Monday or Sunday, okay? Bye.
Bye.